What's good, traders? Welcome back to yet another video. Well, today I want us to get to have a conversation regarding something that so many traders get to ignore. And what we'll be talking about today, we will be talking about discipline. Discipline always gets to beat a strategy any day, anytime, and there is a reason for that. You might be having a very good strategy, but you find yourself you're struggling every now and then, taking unnecessary losses. Your P&L is not as favorable as you could expect. And of course, when it comes to funded accounts, you're blowing accounts back to back. And the problem could most likely is not a strategy. You could be having a very good strategy. Your strategy has shown it's profitable over a long period of trades. And of course, the problem with you, it could be this one thing, which is display. The reason why it's usually said discipline always outbeats strategy every single day is because what a strategy does, it just gets to tell you what you should do. But when it comes to discipline, it actually ensures that you get to do what you're supposed to do. And this is where so many people get to spend so many years struggling. And of course, you get to find trading becoming very, very difficult because this is you versus you. When it comes to discipline, nobody's going to tell you that you're supposed to do this or they get to watch you every single time. What you realize is that in most cases, you are trading alone. You're the one to make the decision whether you are right or wrong. So you find yourself sometimes you are bending rules, sometimes you are doing what you are not supposed to be doing yet, and this gets to narrow down to discipline. So when you get to talk about discipline, this is what gets to separate between profitable traders and most of the losing traders. And what I'm saying with this is that despite the fact that you can get to learn a strategy within a few months, when it comes to the psychology and the discipline part, this is where you get to spend hours and hours until you get to build that muscle within yourself to be in a position you can get to control yourself, even if you have that urge and that intuition sometimes to do something. So when it comes to discipline, it's very important that you get to understand. Despite having a strategy, even a good strategy sometimes gets to take some hits, take some losses, and this doesn't mean that your strategy is wrong or it's not working. All you just need to do is to execute your plan with proper discipline and proper consistency. Sometimes you may find you have a good strategy, but because you don't have the display, you find yourself you're taking invalid setups, you're taking C plus setups, you're not even having a proper risk management. Even at some point, you may find you're dragging your stop loss. The market, you're already wrong in a particular setup in the market, but you tend to move your stop loss away from the market because you don't want to accept that you are wrong in this one. So all these cases to narrow down and of course falls under the discipline aspect. And when you get to talk about discipline, only when you have discipline is the only time you're going to see consistency. Because remember, we are talking about whereby you need to execute your strategy the same way over and over. If your strategy gets to dictate that you're not supposed to trade on Monday, despite getting a setup on Monday, you're not supposed to take that trade. And of course, with discipline, you get to trade the same way. Your setups, they are all the same way. And sometimes it's very, very important that you get to understand. It's important you get to journal before taking any trade. That's what I get to do, and it has really, really helped me to avoid those reckless trades, which sometimes they get to pile up unnecessary losses. Always get to journal, and when you get to talk about this, is that initiative, that rule of you have to make yourself you get to follow that rule despite sometimes you get to ignore or if you get to feel it's not necessary. But after taking a few trades, a few reckless losses, you now get to go back to your senses. You realize that that silly action that you felt that it was not important, that is what was keeping you from taking these reckless trades. So it's very, very important that you get to understand that. Also, without a discipline, you become emotional. And remember, emotions, gets to destroy any strategy. And by emotions, we are talking about whereby sometimes you feel like you're missing out, which is formal. Sometimes you feel like you don't want to take that trade because you're in fear. You don't know whether it's going to go to your direction. In most cases, you feel like you're greedy. You want to make more with one trade. So sometimes you even end up over risking, which is a very very big problem when it comes to trading. And so many people they get to learn this the hard way after blowing accounts back to back. So with discipline, you get to avoid the biggest threat to trading, which is becoming emotional. And of course, with emotions, without emotions, you can execute your strategy flawlessly. So it's very important that you get to understand that. Also, another thing, with the discipline comes risk management. Remember, most of the traders they don't get to struggle with capital because they don't have capital to trade. But you find yourself, for instance, you have $1,000. You're planning to risk 1% of that, but sometimes you get emotional. You want to earn more in just a few clicks, in just a few setups. And in this situation, you end up putting away proper risk management. You over risk. Sometimes you even go to an extra levels whereby you get to, yeah.